Hey y'all, I have an update on Paddlegate 2022 and the carbon paddle ban. Looks like this is going to be good news for the owners of carbon paddles that were retroactively considered non-conforming and taken off of the USAP approved paddle list, sort of out of the blue, uh, late April 2022. As promised, Garrett and the Carbon team have released a new update on the website, um, laying out 4 options for the owners of now unapproved carbon paddles. And I gotta say, I'm very impressed. Um, just, from the get-go, this has been a tragedy for this small company, and there's a lot of arguments that this is unfair, and the way this was handled was um, um, not ideal for everyone and not exactly fair for everyone, among other things that I'm not going to say here. Everybody seems to have their opinion, so I think everybody understands by now the gravity of this, especially for a small company like Carbon that was just about to take off or taking off. Um, and they could have gone a lot of different ways with this. They could have complained. They could have even threatened litigation or sued. And they, I think, had some fair arguments. But they just got back to work. You know, did what they had to do to get all the pieces in place to get new models approved and ready to go. So ready to be sold, going forward, and also ready to be swapped out according to what the current customers want to do. And depending on how they um, execute this plan uh, and deal with the customers that come in on one of these 4 options, this could be one of those things that makes the company stronger and makes the customers more loyal. I know I'm very impressed. I think they knocked it out of the park, and I agree with the people that want to do as much as they can to help out Carbon to succeed and get back to where they were after this really unfortunate situation. Okay, so here are the 4 options. You can find these at the Carbon's website, CRBN Pickleball.com. And first option is essentially the one for the rec players that maybe don't need USAP approved paddles. They're not going to be competing in any sanctioned tournaments. And I think this is fair. They're saying, hey, hang on to this. We'll send you a $40 gift card. And when you're ready to start competing, then cash in the gift card and keep your paddle, and we'll get you a USAP approved one. Option 2 looks like it could be for a lot of different types of people, and I think that a lot of creativity went into this, and I'm very impressed. To be honest, when the first announcement came out that Carbon was going to set something up, I thought it was going to be a basic swap, and I wasn't even sure whether they were going to pay for shipping and handling, and require customers to jump over other hoops, make this more difficult. But man, I'm very impressed with these 4 options, and the lengths that they went to try and be flexible to what people wanted and also be fair. And I think there's some good choices here. So number 2 is basically you keep your paddle and um, and if you want to buy a USAP approved one, you pay $60 and you get, 3 coupon codes, one for 15% off of anything for life on the. And there's another bonus to this option. Under the FAQ section, there's a FAQ. Can I give my code to a friend? The answer is no, but I think it's very cool that they are totally fine with you ordering, on behalf of your friend, just, using your email. I think a lot of people would do that anyways, but I just think it's cool that they recognize that there's no need to, be overly controlling of this situation. Give people options, be fair, and get back to business. So I think this is a great option. Again, great job, Garrett and Carbon, on this. Okay, so option three. Option three is pretty much a straight swap, and looks like Carbon is going to be paying the shipping both ways, which is great. And I guess one limitation is that it's got to be the exact same model that you currently own and purchase through one of the accepted channels. You can't be switching models on them. It's got to be a straight swap. I think another slight limitation is looks like you send the info on the form, and then the company sends you the prepaid return label to send the paddle or paddles back, but you got to deal with the boxing and everything else, which is not a huge deal, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to find a box that's the right size or to buy one, which I don't know, maybe 10 to 20 bucks, and then going to get it shipped. But not a huge deal in the grand scheme, especially compared to the strife that Carbon's going through with all this. And the last option, which I'm going to give extreme kudos to Carbon for this kind of creativity and fairness. They are offering to swap out a new USAP-approved Carbon paddle for anyone who bought a substitute paddle from another company during the paddle ban to sort of, have a paddle to play in tournaments with. I just think this is incredibly cool of them and fair. They could easily have said, "Oh no, that was your choice. You didn't have to do that. You could have waited it out." But they're saying, you know what, you had to do what you had to do, and we appreciate that you're coming back. So send us that paddle as long as it has a retail price of over $90, and you box it and ship it back. They'll pay for the shipping both ways again, and they'll replace it with a new USA-approved model, which I think is great. I think that these 4 options cover pretty much everyone out there, and it's a fair balance of making the situation right by its customers, but also trying to stay afloat, not go under with having to pay for everything that they could have to pay for here, and sort of using creativity and some funding and some other resources and connections with some of the retailers in option 2. So great job, Carbon. Hats off to how you're handling this after Don Pabin and the USAP just sort of waved their magic wand at the US Open, and all of a sudden made thousands of what were otherwise great Carbon paddles all of a sudden no longer conforming retroactively and not approved on the list. So a lot of us had some decisions to make, and now you're just dealing with the repercussions of that the best way you can. So that's great. So here I also saw just a few days before this announcement on May 30th that the USAP updated their approved paddle list to include the new USAP approved carbon models, the carbon 1 in the 13 and 16 millimeter, and the carbon 2 in the 13 and 16 millimeter, which is great. I like that they're working timely too. They're helping carbon out and getting on a swift timeline to get back in business. And they also have little JPEGs of the paddles with the serial numbers to show people what to look for, as well as a new logo, a little patriotic logo with the little flag action in the background there. So that's pretty cool. That's good news that they're already up on the list, so that, if you get a paddle right now and you go to a tournament right now, they are approved and ready for play. So I just want to get this info out there to anyone that has a carbon paddle, was waiting to see what was going to happen, what options were going to be there, and could take action. If you go to the Carbon Pickleball website, you'll see all the info there, and you can choose which option you want, and then click the button accordingly, and then there's an online form that asks you the questions that they need to get the info on their end, and there's a place to upload your proof of purchase or receipt or screenshot, and they verify, and then they go from there. So great job, Carbon. Appreciate what you're doing to hang in there and make things right with your customers, despite the horrible situation. All right, guys. So let me know in the comments what options you guys are going to choose. Thanks for listening. Likes and subscribes are appreciated. I will see you in the next video.